Hello everyone, I am Chetan Kuratti from SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. My USN is 2SD20EC028. I am pursuing my final year engineering in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today we are demonstrating C program for file transfer over a network under the guardianship of Professor Sunil Matak. The aim of today's experiment is to write a C program and perform a file transfer over a network. There are two algorithms for client and server. Coming to the server, we create a socket to listen the incoming connections, bind the socket to a specific IP address and portal, and set the socket to listen the incoming connections, accept the client connections when a client attempts to connect, create or open a file to store the received data, loop to receive the data from client to chunk, read the chunk of data from the client, write the received data to the file. Now repeat the loop until the client has sent all the data. Close the received file and the client socket. Close the socket server and terminate the program. We will see it separately to the while coding the server and client. Now coming to the client algorithm, that is sending, that is the sending end, which is also called as the receiving. Creating a socket to establish a connection to the server, define the server's IP address and port to the connect the server using the socket. Now open the file you want to send, loop the read data from the file and send it to the server. Read a chunk of data from the file, send the chunk of the data to the server. Repeat the loop until the entire file is sent. Close the file and the client socket. Now terminate the program. We will study everything in the both the algorithms in the coding part, so it will be clear at that time. In VS Studio Code, to explain the code, this particular code requires Linux environment due to libraries now entering into the main program, specifying the domain name, system socket, that is TCP, and protocol TCP UDP. Check whether the socket is available or not, that is successful creation of the socket. If socket FD is equal to -1, that is P error in the socket, that is socket is failed, so it shows the exit status. Creating a structure, that is socket adder in the internal structure, and domain name. Data is transferred from application layer to the transport layer. Data, the transport layer data is transferred to in the big engine. Format the host to network sort, which is 2 byte data. Server IP address in the local host. It's the local host. This is the IP address of the local host. And coming to the incoming connections of the client, we can listen to the request of the client whenever we want to interact with the client. This new FD is used. Now printing the client request. When the client request is accepted, system call it as used to run Linux command. Display the list of files sent to the client. Now using strings, we read the bytes by byte. Byte by byte, we read it, and dynamic allocation of pointer is in the memory is allocated to the runtime. Read string from file that to concatenate to the message variable. Length of the first and second is also shown with L1 and L2. Message equal to character star malloc. We use malloc operator here For formality, we used one after we can reallocate. Getting the content of the file, while we choose F close, we print the last string, that is %s str, send the length of the message to the client, and when there is a successful sending of file to the client, for formality we add calloc after we reallocate. Getting the content of the file, we get the file and we print it as successfully receiving of the file, and file content successfully sent to the client. This is the message displayed at the end. And coming to the client client part, here we use different data types. Here the stream socket, that is TCP protocol, TCP or UDP. We press 1 for the request of the file from the server, or press 0 to exit. It is a command based here, checking whether the socket is successfully created or not, and socket add in the internal structure, giving it a domain name, and data is transferred from application layer to transport layer. Data in transferred in the big engine. Okay, and server IP address localhost. In content function, we are writing about the server. For length, we are giving here a single variable sent from the server, that is L, and read from the server, that is int. We give the commands to request. Adding the null character at the end, we print the message. We enter the file name from the server, and file name successfully sent to the server. Receiving the file content from the server, which I will be demonstrating in the using the Linux. Creating the sending new file to the server, we can send from server to client. We can also write a content that file to a new file. We can write it, read and write operation. When the file is successfully transferred and created in the client, we can also view that by listing the files, or we can press 1 as it is user friendly and command based. We can press 1 for new file request, or press 0 to exit. We are simulating this code in Linux environment. Now in a directory, we create a server base and a client base. Now we list out the commands, list out the files by using command ls. We have created the TCP server using cc tcp server.c, and we also we copied the code and compiled it. Now we will create a client server, that is cc.tcp client. When we compile it, we run the code. We press 1 to request the file from the server, and press 0 to exit the file. When we press 1, it is connected to server. We enter the file name to request from the server, that is I have given a file name as b.java. File name successfully sent to the server, file received from the server. We can see this message, that is Thank you.